Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday, the 28th day of September. It's the last Monday of the month, by the way.
Okay.
We are sneaking right up on October, which I am not ready for. But today is National Drink Beer Day. I know a lot of folks that are going to celebrate that. It's also National Good Neighbor Day. Everybody should celebrate that. Be nice to your neighbor. Maybe you even have a beer with them. Who knows? National Strawberry Cream Pie Day. National North Carolina Day. And National Family Day. I like that.
Me too.
Should celebrate with your family today. And, Heidi, it's a Movie Star Monday. We have Philip Winchester joining us today, known maybe best for his role as Peter Stone on Chicago Justice, also Law & Order Special Victims Unit, also in a little thing called The Patriot, CSI Miami, Flyboys, whole bunch of stuff.
Busy dude.
And he's got a new film that just came out. He's teaming up with somebody he worked in the movie Strike Back with for a new film that just came out last month called Rogue. It's available on demand. We're going to be chatting with Mr. Philip Winchester in a bit.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Got several here, Heidi. We've got first one. Survey shows that a growing number of retailers are concerned about the ramifications of social distancing for Black Friday. They're like, what are we going to do? Is that going to work?
Yep, that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Another study found the CDC. They say they found passengers on longer flights have a higher chance of catching coronavirus than passengers on shorter flights. That would only be if coronavirus happens to be on the plane, though. And the last one, an Associated Press poll found 54% of people plan to vote before Election Day. 39% say they're going to vote by mail. 51% say they're going to vote in person. I've got a link to all of these studies and surveys in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. Oklahoma police arrested a woman who was driving while high on marijuana, and she kept her good time going after being pulled over. They pulled over Megan Gaddis. She was driving too slowly and repeatedly switched lanes. She allegedly sped up and then ran a red light as she flashed the officer a peace sign. Police used stop sticks to finally get her to stop her joyride. When she finally came to a stop, she was arrested in a parking lot near Hefner and Broadway. Police cam footage shows Gaddis doing some dancing before being taken into custody. She's accused of eluding police and driving under the influence. A dog was also in the vehicle with her, and the dog was taken to animal welfare. So even the dog was arrested. That whole situation. Bad idea.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern with the whole legalization thing.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Because
yeah, she was going too slow, then too fast. Didn't know what she was doing.
It's super dangerous.
It's a terrible idea. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink if you're under the influence of anything.
Don't drive if you're under the influence of anything.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. I did not watch the Emmys last weekend. It's already been over a week.
I don't think very many people
did. A week and a day.
HBO
was considered the biggest winner, though. I think the real big winners are the people that didn't watch. Several viewers tried to crash after parties by using Jimmy Kimmel's screen name, and that did not work. Jason Bateman was mistakenly announced as a winner of an Emmy before Ron Safara Jones was given the award during the virtual ceremony. Can you imagine how awful that would be?
That would be sad.
So they announced the winner, Jason Bateman, and they're like, oh, no, never mind, no, Ron is the Jones. No, it was this guy. Yikes. And then
I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah, I think he's he seems like a nice dude.
He does.
And Candace Cameron Bure is back in the news. She's been on this program before. Very nice lady. She says that she and her husband are spicy now after this controversial photo of her, and him, standing next to each other.
I think it's fantastic.
Married couple. There are photos of us doing the same thing. So
lots of photos of us.
Heidi is holding me just exactly like that. So. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Kanye West has asked his campaign staff to refrain from fornicating outside of marriage. So he's saying, please, if you're going to work on the staff, I would like for you to do this. He did get in a fight with his record label last week and posted all of his contracts online and then posted a video of himself urinating on a Grammy Award.
That's super.
That's exactly what you're looking for in a person running for office.
And in a pastor.
There are times I'm so impressed by things he does, and then there are times that I'm like, yeah, that's okay.
What would Jesus do?
According to a new survey, newborns are ugly. What?
I would agree
so.
with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Survey suggests we don't find babies particularly cute until they're 3 or 6 months of age.
Oh, gosh, I wouldn't say that
when the awkward
long.
old man features go away.
Yeah, they do have the wrinkly old man look
then
right
they
away.
They remain at a peak cuteness for about 6 months. So,
I wouldn't say it takes that long. I would say probably 3 weeks before it kind of disappears.
Well, the peak cuteness hits at age 6 months, goes till 4.5 years old. What is the age that is the cutest? They say somewhere around somewhere around the 6 month rating. So right around 6 months is when they're the cutest, according to the
I would
survey.
say from 1 up until 3.
I'd
That's
say
when they're adorable. They're toddling. They're so cute. They get to wear the cute little shoes that you buy for them.
So they can start cooking me breakfast and stuff.
That's when you like them best.
No, our kids never really did that. I cooked them breakfast, but according to a study, Americans sent twice as much of our garbage to the landfill as we previously thought. So they're saying we have to get better at that. 3/4 of the nation's movie theaters are now open, but customers maybe didn't know that because a lot of folks not going to the theaters. We keep saying we're going to go, and then we don't.
Yeah.
So it's not because we're afraid to go. We just haven't done it, so we need to go. A woman in Japan has been arrested for allegedly hiring a hitman to kill his, not her husband, but her husband's lover. Let me try that again.
Yeah.
No.
That makes sense.
Tried to hire a hitman to kill her lover's wife. So she
was
the other one.
wife.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So another example of hiring an undercover cop? No, she actually did hire a hitman. The contract killer was paid over $100,000 and never did it. So then she tried to go to the police. She went to the police and complained, and she was arrested, and he was arrested. So that has a happy ending after all.
Gosh.
What a bizarre story. And room for one last thing here. Back in 2017, there was a study that said 7% of Americans thought chocolate milk came from brown cows.
Nuh-uh. No way.
That was in 2017. Now, 2020, 48% of Americans are not sure where chocolate milk comes from. 7% still think it's from brown cows. Don't feel bad, America. The survey has gone all over the place worldwide. 20% of people worldwide didn't know that hamburgers were made of beef. The survey was done well before turkey burgers and veggie burgers were even a thing. So there you go. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, insurancechicken.com. That's insurancechicken.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with Mr. Philip Winchester on this Movie Star Monday, maybe best known as Peter Stone in Chicago Justice, also from Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Had several roles in other projects like The Patriot, The High Line, LD50, Lethal Dose, Thunderbirds, CSI Miami. Now he's returning back to his roots for a movie. It's actually set in South Africa, which is kind of an interesting concept. It's called Rogue. Mr. Winchester, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of folks know you as Peter Stone on Chicago Justice, and maybe know you from Law & Order and all these other projects that you're working on, but we're going to talk maybe a little bit about those in a second. First, let's talk about Rogue. It's a new movie that just came out. It's available on demand. Tell me a little bit about Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue is, what are they calling it? They're calling it an eco-thriller, I think, that's kind of a fun term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Megan Fox is a sort of a mercenary, and she leads a team of operators into the bush to do a snatch and grab that, as these things tend to do, it goes horribly wrong. And we get pinned down between a group of terrorists and a rogue lion that is picking off our team one by one.
Now, is this based on a true story at all, or it's not necessarily?
No, it's not a true story at all. No, MJ Bassett and Izzy Bassett are the writers. MJ Bassett directed it, and it was just an excuse to go back to Africa, which we love filming in, and make an action show with some fun people.
That is fantastic. Now, when was this filmed? It must have been before the COVID stuff hit.
It was. We lucked out, and we snuck it in last October. I got back in the States in November. Then I did a little short film in Hawaii called 38 Minutes back in February and March. And then as soon as we got home, everything got locked down and the world changed.
Now, a lot of folks with a little more time on their hands have had a chance to do some binge watching of some of the programs that you're on. And are you guys finding like some new fans during this time where people have a little more time to watch?
Yeah, it has been. It's been funny. I mean, obviously there's not been a lot of walking around or anything like that, roaming around the city, but my wife and I have a joke that we can always tell when the reruns are on because people come out and say, hey, aren't you, dot. So, yes, there's been a little bit more of that happening.
So the program that you're on, Chicago Justice, where you get to be Peter Stone, that's been on for several years, and that character is a pretty well-known character. Do people think you are Peter Stone from time to time?
It's interesting. I've had people come up and say, you're my favorite fake lawyer, which I think is a great compliment. Because I'm certainly, if you knew me well, I'm the furthest thing from a lawyer. I mean, that stuff is just, that is Mandarin to me, and so I appreciate that compliment. But yeah, people liked Peter Stone or they hated Peter Stone, which I always think is a mark of a good character, right? It's good writing.
Absolutely.
I had a showrunner once say to me, "Hey, if people throw if half the audience throws their shoe at the television at the end of a show, you know you've done a good job."
Absolutely. Like and the movie The Patriot that you were in, that was a movie that just did phenomenally well, and your character in that was not necessarily a lovable character, was he?
Yeah, The Patriot. Well, so look, I mean, that was back in I was in high school when I did that, so it was a couple years ago. It was Steven Seagal's first movie after he left Universal, and he came to Ennis, Montana. And yeah, he pulled together some people here. Dean Semler was our director. He was the director of photography on Waterworld and Dances with Wolves, and he took me under his wings and taught me the ropes on what it was like to be on a film set. So as a young actor wanting to be in the business, that was a real break and a real treat for me.
Well, it's been a treat to chat with you today, and I know you've got another call to get to. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us here.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate your time, too.
Again, Philip Winchester has been our guest today, and there's a new movie out. It's called Rogue. It is available right now through video on demand. It came out back in August. I'll throw a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Smokers work less than non-smokers. According
to
this,
they're constantly taking breaks.
1 month less per year because of smoke breaks.
Yeah.
The average smoker will take 4 10-minute breaks per day. That adds up to 1 month less work each year. So, wow. I didn't realize it was that much, but it adds up. Now you know. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at bettercreditcards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline Russia. In Russia, police were called to the scene of a rear-end accident. Police knew the driver very well because she's had 5 other accidents just recently, year and a half. They ticketed the woman and let her go when she promptly rear-ended a truck and then backed up and hit it again. On the spot, the police stopped her again while chatting with her as she was sitting in her car. She started to roll downhill and then hit another car.
So she's just a bad driver.
Yeah. Officers asked her to please just park the car and call a friend to get a ride.
Yeah, they might want to just take away that license.
Yeah, probably a good plan. That's today's news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Orange County, Florida father says he doesn't understand why his 5th grade son had to be was asked to remove his Hooters theme face mask at school. I can understand why they probably don't want that.
I don't get it either. Did you see it? It just said Hooters on it.
Did you see
That's
the
all
thing?
that it said.
I didn't even see this. It says there's nothing offensive or derogatory about the mask.
There's not.
His 11-year-old son, Ian, didn't understand why he had to remove it either. He says, I don't think it's offensive at all. It's just a restaurant.
Yeah.
Orange County 5th grader said his teacher at Sunset Park Elementary said something about it, and the district does not comment on discipline matters, but says the mask violates the dress code, which they say, in part, the principal at each school reserves the right to determine what appropriate dress is for the school, end quote. So now you know.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with the mask at all.
I didn't see it. I just thought it was definitely today's weird news. Right here on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A Central Florida man needed a ride home. He didn't get a ride home, but he did get a ride to jail. Winter Haven police said 46-year-old Jermaine Williams called 911 early Friday morning to report a dead body at a McDonald's.
Oh, boy.
Officers responded to the fast food restaurant where they found no body. They found Mr. Williams sitting on the curb. He said, no, I called a number of times. Nobody would give me a ride, so I told you about that dead body, so you come pick me up.
Oh, no.
He was charged with misuse of 911, being held in jail. You don't do that.
No.
You can call like Uber or Lyft or a taxi or a friend or anybody else.
Anybody
you don't
else.
do that. It is a terrible, terrible idea. That's why it's today's moment of duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida? Florida man who was stopped for erratic driving told police it wasn't me driving, it was my dog. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It is a true story.
Yeah.
I remember
We've
that.
read several stories from lots of places, actually, where people were letting their dog drive.
Like, what are you doing? I'm trying to teach my dog to drive. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do
It's a bad idea. If you do, we're going to talk about it on the radio. It's just what we do right here on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And this is a pretty cool story. A horse sanctuary in California was reduced to ashes, but all 20 horses miraculously survived.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Fire swept through the ranch, destroying sheds and equipment and more. Patty Hillslop started Hillslop Horse Haven to care for abused and neglected horses.
Oh.
And she suffers from multiple sclerosis. I'm struggling to talk today.
Heck of a time.
At one point, she was paralyzed, but she does believe that her love for horses has helped improve her condition. It was one of the scariest things we've ever seen go through here, she said. When I saw those 100-foot flames come at us, I thought I was going to come back the next day and have dead horses or severely burned horses. She said, if they had died, I think I would have died right along with them. My heart would have just broken. But somehow, miraculously, all of the horses survived the fire. The sanctuary is destroyed, tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. All of the buildings, everything, just trashed.
So somehow they all managed to get out and run.
By some miracle, the homes and all 20 horses were saved. Sadly, all the equipment and tack and shed, the sheds, the horse stuff was all destroyed. But their home that they live in and all of the horses were still good to go. And there's a GoFundMe page that is set up. It was like $12,000, something like that, last time I looked. And you can click on it and see. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.